Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Maddie and today I'm doing a little Q&A, sorority recruitment related. We are back in my guest room because this is the place with the best lighting while I'm at home. So I love to film in here. While I was editing my last video, I was like, do not touch your hair again, do not touch your hair again. And we need to get a count going of how many times I touched my hair in that video because it's absurd. I promise I will touch my hair less this time. But anyways, I am a sophomore at Miami University. A sophomore? I'm a senior at Miami University and we do recruitment in the spring, which is obviously coming up. So I thought this would be a perfect time to do a little Q&A. I have been through recruitment on both sides now as an actual PNM and then on the sorority side as well. I just feel like I've gained a lot of advice and knowledge throughout my 4 years that I love to be able to give to everyone else on the internet. So let's get right into it. I posted on my Instagram story for people to ask questions about recruitment and all that stuff. Also, please don't mind this nail, it fell off. First question is, what's something you wish you could go back and tell your freshman self leading into it? So I was actually reflecting on my freshman year recruitment recently. I think I was such a different person when I was a freshman just because of COVID. I feel like I did not transition to being a real college student until sophomore year. I guess what I'm trying to say is you change a lot when you get to college, and I don't think I had that transformation until sophomore year after I went through recruitment. I do get along with all the girls just fine and I love the sorority that I ended up in, but I think it would have been different had I gone through it, I guess in a sense how you guys will go through it, which is after being adjusted to college, which is why Miami does it in the spring, and I really love that about Miami. But anyways, that was a tangent. I think I would tell myself to make sure that all of the aspects of the sorority are something that would fit my life. So that includes not just like the social life and getting along with the girls, which is an important part of it, but also the philanthropy. I had no personal touch to Phi Mu's philanthropy before being in Phi Mu, and I have learned so much about it, but I feel like if I really cared about the philanthropy going in, I would have gotten more out of it and wanted to be more philanthropic through my sorority experience. But other than that, I don't think I would change anything about my sorority experience. So yeah, I guess make sure that you are aligned with all aspects of the sorority before you pick it and not just for the social part of it. The next question is, how long are recruitment days? Like how many hours and how many girls do you meet with? The recruitment days are really long for both PNMs and the sorority girls that are recruiting. They're like all day, like 10 to 7 at least. They're going into events. Depending on how many sororities you get back as a PNM, you may have more or less events. As a recruiter, you're pretty much doing all the events. So it is a really long day and process. There's probably 4 or 5 days that we have like 10 to 7s. And on the sorority side, you're sayingly doing other things like helping make it run smoothly. So it's definitely tiring. All the days are different. So philanthropy, you usually have like 9 or 10 events in a day and they're shorter, but for sisterhood rounds you have like 4 or 5, and those are going to be like longer because like as you go through the process you get like less and less things back before obviously pref round and bid day. Preference round, there's usually only 4 or 5 events and those are the longest. I guess as the rounds go on you're talking to less girls but for longer periods of time, which you can like really get deep and personal through those longer conversations. Next question is, how do you choose the right sorority for you? How do you know you'll fit in? I think that this one is almost unexplainable. Like you kind of just have to go through it to understand. But what I can say is that you will know when you're in the right place. You will feel like a welcoming spirit and environment, and you'll feel that these girls are very similar to you and you have the same values. Something to note is that Miami does values-based recruitment, so you want to make sure that you have the same values as a PNM that the sorority has, because that is what is most important to the sororities. FIMU was my top sorority every time. I can link my recruitment video from freshman year, but I personally ranked them top for every round except for maybe the first round. And I know it doesn't always happen like that, but from literally the first time that I went there and saw the girls, and I guess I didn't see the girls, it was Zoom recruitment, but talked to the girls, I just like felt something in me that was like, this is where I belong. I know that it's possible to feel that feeling and then not get that sorority back, but I do think that even if that happens, if there's another place where you feel like overwhelmingly like this is where you're supposed to be, it's very similar to picking a college. When you go to that college and you're on that campus, you're like, I can really see myself like living here, studying here, and like having a life here. So I don't know, it's kind of giving similar vibes. Like if you can see yourself going to their events, getting along with the girls, living in the sorority dorms, then that is probably the one for you. I don't know, at least that's what it was in my experience. Next one is, are sororities popular at Miami? How many people are usually in one? 33% of our student body is in Greek life. Tour guide facts. Some of it is like business fraternities or like there's engineering ones, nursing ones, so there's lots of different Greek life. For social Greek life, that percentage is lower, but I do feel like a lot of people do choose to join a sorority or a fraternity at Miami, like a social one. It's not for everyone, obviously. If you don't feel like that's your thing, then kudos to you. You will still make friends and you'll still have a great time. I think I want to do it more for like the social and philanthropic aspect. I love being busy and having things to do. Being in a sorority, it has events and things to go to almost all the time, so you're never bored. And that was just like the life I knew I wanted to live in college. Kind of sums up why I wanted to be in a sorority and why a lot of other people do. I'm gonna rapid fire some of the ones from the FIMU Instagram. What's your philanthropy? FIMU's philanthropy is Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. How do you balance school and sorority life? A lot of the events in sorority life you don't have to attend. Like probably once a week we have a mandatory event, and then the rest is like kind of up to you. So balancing school isn't that hard. If I ever have something for school that I need to do, I obviously do it before I go to a sorority event. So is it as scary and intimidating as people think it is? I would say yes and no. I guess I can't really touch on that because ours is on Zoom. It was pretty intimidating, but like I said earlier, when you feel not as intimidated and you feel welcomed, that is when you know you found a good sorority and like place to be. What should we wear for each round? I have a whole video on this. I can link it below or up here. Really quick. It gets like nicer each round. So welcome round, you don't wear pretty much anything. You can wear whatever you want because you're not actually meeting the girls. Philanthropy round, they give you a shirt and you usually wear some sort of cute bottoms, but it is in the winter, so you have to keep that in mind. Sisterhood round, you wear something a little nicer, like a skirt, a dress maybe, and then pref round is definitely a dress. It's usually either black or white, but you can do whatever you want. So that is like kind of the gist of what to wear, but definitely watch that video if you are interested. What is the best way to de-stress after a long day of recruitment? I remember as a PNM, I would order food in between my last 2 rounds so that it got to me when I was done. And I think that was the best way, like ordering food, staying in, and watching like your favorite show or hanging out with your friends. I don't suggest talking about it too much with your friends. I know they tell you not to do that, and for good reason. Yeah, just doing something that's almost mindless because you will be tired after that whole day. So that was my favorite way to de-stress. I'll answer 2 more. What's my favorite part about recruitment? I'm really looking forward to just doing recruitment in general this year because I didn't get to while I was abroad. I am going to be with my little a lot, which I am excited about. I'm gonna cherish those little moments before I graduate because I love her. I'm just looking forward to spending a lot of time with my sisters before I graduate. And then the last one is any advice to calm nerves before recruitment. I would say, one, have your outfits picked out. It makes it more fun. Like, that was my favorite part, was picking out what I was gonna wear for each round. Second, take a lot of notes. Make sure you have like a good notebook before you start. And then my last little tip would just be to be confident with it. You will end up where you need to be and everything will work out. So if you're just confident and know yourself well and know your values, then you will be totally fine and end up where you're supposed to be. I think this will be my last recruitment video before actual recruitment, which I will be filming. So good luck during recruitment. If you go to Miami and you find yourself in FIMU, don't hesitate to come say hi. And yeah, just I'm sure you'll have a great time and you will end up just where you're supposed to be. That is it for this video. I will see you guys next Monday for another one. Bye.